This is an urgent appeal from the Disasters Emergency Committee. Hundreds of thousands of people have fled their homes to escape conflict in Ukraine, leaving jobs, belongings and loved ones behind. They need shelter, food and water. You can help. To donate online, search DEC or text radio to 70150 to give £10. Thank you.
Streaming 24/7, this is Brum Radio.
Thank you for downloading this Brum Radio podcast. For more podcasts, visit brumradio.com.
I'm Dave Massey. I'm joined on the telephone by Darren Day, who is coming to Birmingham for Footloose, which is on in Birmingham from the 18th until the 23rd of April. And this is at the Alexandra, and it's part of a UK tour, which is on until the 20th of August. Good afternoon, Darren. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm really good today. I'm really pleased to be chatting to you again on our show. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity to chat to us about your role within Footloose.
Absolute pleasure. Nice to talk to you.
Where in the world are you today?
So this week we're in Cheltenham.
Yes. Oh, that's not far from us at all.
No. So, yeah, it's been, I mean, I'd forgotten just how crazy touring was, up until last August when I went into Chicago. It'd been a while. I stepped out of musical theatre for a while and sort of did some other things, and I just forgotten how much time you spent on the road.
Yes.
Actually, as opposed to being on stage, we were in York last week. Now we're Cheltenham, Blackpool next week. So yeah, it's a lot of driving, but it feels fresh again, really. I think it was a really good thing for me to step away from musical theatre for a few years, because I really got sort of, without sounding too arty, I kind of got the passion back for it. And also, particularly, I mean, to have 6 months on Chicago's Billy Flynn and then to have 6 months on Footloose as the Reverend, I mean, any time in the world at this point in my career, I would feel very blessed and lucky. But I think particularly on the back of the pandemic, when my colleagues, people in this industry particularly, we didn't work for almost 2 years. So I just feel really lucky, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think this is honestly the first time that I've gone back to a theatre so soon after having been there with another show. It wasn't many weeks ago that I was at the Alex with Chicago, and they had the posters out the front, and there was the Chicago poster right next to the Footloose one, and I had a picture taken there for the local press, sort of in between them. And I do honestly think, I mean, I've been doing musical theatre for 29 years this year. Don't tell anyone.
That's amazing.
But I think it is honestly the first time in all of those years that happened. And I love the Alex. I really do. I love Birmingham, and I love playing to the audiences of Birmingham. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming back. Yeah.
We're thrilled to have this production in particular come into Birmingham. I said to you just before the interview started, I watched Footloose for the first time this weekend. I don't know how I'd never seen it before, because it's certainly a film that people in my generation have watched. It's it was a very well known film. Did you watch Footloose as a teenager? Do you remember ever seeing it at that point?
I do actually. Yeah, I mean, I certainly remember the first time I heard the song Footloose on the radio. And, the 80s, I was sort of a teenager in the 80s, so it's quite a kind of an important time in your life. It's quite transitional, isn't it? And so I think, you sort of remember things from that period in your life maybe better than other times of life. But, yeah, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, that is a great tune. And then I did watch the movie, but of course, I just watched it like any other movie. I wasn't sort of studying it, So I did go back and watch it. Yeah. So I'm playing John Lithgow role.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of John Lithgow. I think he's an amazing actor, but I think, as you mentioned before we were doing this interview, I don't think people realise that there are the songs in it that there are.
Yeah. And that they're the songs from this film they were songs written just for this film. Holding Out for a Hero, Let's Hear It for the Boy. I didn't know that they were from this film, and that was just astonishing to find out, because as soon as they started in the film, I was like, what is going on? What a wonderful opportunity. And those songs feature in the stage production as well. How do they fit in? Do they fit in differently? Do they fit in as tracks in the background, or is the audience going to have to come and find that out for themselves?
Well, no, I'll tell you, it's all right. I mean, still come. Don't take my word for it. But do you know what, Dave? What you've just said is like an amazingly good point with this show, because I don't like the term jukebox musical, but that's what they're called. And I've done a few along the way. We Will Rock You, Some Holiday, those kind of things. Mm-hmm. And the thing that separates this from all of the others is, for example, We Will Rock You. They got the rights to do the back catalogue of Queen, Ben Elton. Then, the songs are all there, and they're obviously all, iconic songs. Mm-hmm. And then Ben Elton wrote a story and a plot around them. But the thing that separates this is Dean Pitchford, who wrote it. Those songs were written, as you said, sort of for the movie. Mm-hmm. So those songs are, again, without sounding too arty, those songs sort of lyrically, they are put in the right place to carry the story forward, rather than, here's a song, let's write something around it as a story. And I think that really makes a big difference with this. It's kind of got everything, this show. There are these songs that you can just hear the buzz of the audience when the intro kicks off for them all, because they're instantly recognizable. Massive hits. You've got, like, the cast are so incredibly talented. They're actors, they're singers, they're dancers, and they also play live instruments on stage. One of the most talented casts that I've ever worked with. So you've got these massive big numbers with an amazing set and all this singing and dancing and music, and it's incredible. The buzz is incredible. But then, and dare I say, unlike other jukebox musicals, there's a really, really beautiful story going on as well. And I think it took me a couple of weeks to sort of get into the kind of the swing of it, shall I say. So I play the Reverend, so there's all this happening around me. Jake Quickenden in silver hot pants, like ripped. And then I come on, and my things are, particularly in the second half, they're quite dramatic. Yes. And it took me a while to sort of get into the kind of the rhythm of coming in after, let's hear it for the boy, all going on. And then I come on and do a scene about my son who's tragically died, and my daughter who he feels is losing because she's a teenager and dating boys for the first time. Yeah. But I do think it works really well. And I have to say, the reaction of the audience at the end of the show, and this is bar none of all the performances we've done so far, I've never seen a bigger reaction to anything ever. Wow. Everyone's at their feet. We do like a massive mega mix at the end, and it just feels amazing. I've always defended the feel-good musical, because I know, like, back in the day, I was doing them kind of all the time, and some of the more, I don't know, sort of credible, controversial press or whatever you'd like to call them, they tried to sort of diss it in interviews to me, and I always defended it very much. And I've always thought there's nothing that feels better than sending people out of a theatre feeling good, singing, humming along, stamping their feet, clapping their hands. And I think it's never felt better than now, because, we've had 2 horrendous years. Everyone's been starved of socialising, of live entertainment. And it really does feel like, in the auditorium, it feels like what the Roaring Twenties may have, what I imagine. The Roaring 20s. Absolutely. Celebratory. And it's an amazing time to be in theatre. And I can honestly, genuinely, I can say to everyone, come see it, because you will have an amazing night. It's a brilliant, brilliant show.
I thought that you were particularly great when you were in Chicago. So thank you so much for bringing that performance to us in Birmingham.
Thank you, guys.
The audience were quite boisterous at Chicago.
Yeah.
And even we were on I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday that we were there. They were particularly loud during the audience. Do people sing in Footloose at all? Can you hear the audience singing these songs to you from the stage?
Oh yeah. It's I mean yes. So I've both these back-to-back shows that I've done. They're that type of show.
Yeah.
The audience are really up for it, shall we say? And it was, it sort of was easier as Billy Flynn.
Yes.
Because there are times when Billy speaks to the audience, and it's vaudeville. The whole style of Chicago's vaudeville. So there's only a couple of bits that Billy Flynn does that are serious. There's a couple of moments. Other than that, it's vaudeville. But with this, the audience are that kind of audience as you saw with Chicago. Yeah. But then I have to come on and do this dramatic stuff. And
wow.
But as I said, it works. It works really well, and I mean our reviews have been great. The business is great. We're selling well, which is all, particularly at this point in the world. We none of us knew. I mean, I'm sure the producers were shaking in their boots really, because no one knew if people were going to feel safe enough to come out, and it's just amazing to see people coming back into the theatre, and it's brilliant. I'm really genuinely loving it, and I think the parts they're so contrasting. To come from playing like a ruthless money grabbing lawyer to playing a broken reverend. Yeah, I was pretty sure, Dave, when I put that dog collar on for the first night, I was quite surprised I didn't go up in flames.
Wow.
There was a lightning strike from the
That's
sky.
Funny. I've got friends that say that when they step foot in a church residence, so I can relate to that sort of feeling. I think it's really wonderful that you're going to be bringing this to Birmingham. I hope you have a fantastic week while you're in Cheltenham as well, obviously this week.
Thanks, Dave.
You can find the tickets to see Footloose at the Alexandra from the 18th to the 23rd of April, and it is then touring until the 20th of August. Check out atgtickets.com for there and look for Footloose at the Alexandra. And then there's the Footloose's website, which is footloosemusical.com, and that's footloose-musical.com there as well. Darren, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us about this today.
Oh, Dave, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Thank you so much, and look forward to coming back to Birmingham.
Brilliant. Hopefully we'll get you back here on Brum Radio fairly soon as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this Brum Radio podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and rate us on your podcast app.